Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Maida, and I'm from Class B English Literature 2019. And I would like to explain culture as text, narrative, and hermeneutics. So, it's a commonplace to observe that culture or social life is a text and that it has to be interpreted. For some perspective, however, this dictum is more axiomatic than for others, although mm, it's central to body forms of structuralism and post-structuralism. And attention to the story-like qualities of social life is perhaps strongest in those theoretical approaches that are concerned with narrative and hermeneutics. Structuralist poetics. When Levi-Strauss looked at the Oedipus myth, for example, he had little interest in the story as the bearer of meaning. Rather, his primary concern was with the way that concepts could be plucked out of the narrative to uncover an underlying structure. When structuralists approach the analysis of narrative, especially conventional stories and literal literature, their activity is often given the name of structuralist poetics. The central theme here is often not so much binary opposition, but rather plot, character, and genre. Vladimir Prop. Vladimir Prop can be considered a true pioneer in the structural analysis of culture. Written in the 1920s, his work on the morphology of the folk tale substantially predated that of Levi-Strauss on myth. Prop's major interest was in the thematic or organization of such popular traditional stories. Prop argued that each narrative was made up of what he called function. These were elements of a story or plot made up from the action of character. Prop's failure to address this bigger question by settling for a more descriptive kind of analysis has seen his work attacked as mere formalism. It has, however, provided an exemplar for structuralist poetics by substituting the aestheticism of traditional literary criticism with a more scientific and value-neutral mode of interpretation. Northrop Frye. Prop was content to document the workings of the comparatively simple folk tale. A major challenge for structuralist poetics has been to develop a perspective that can encompass narrative forms as they appear over a range of genres. Since the 2050, the work of the Canadian theorist Northrop Frye has constituted the most ambitious attempt at constructing such a synthetic model. Northrop's overall project is to put the study of narrative on a systematic and scientific footing by identifying deeper regularities that go beyond superficial distinctions in style, period, or characterization. The critique of structural poetics. Structuralist poetics tends to work with the idea that unambiguous meanings exist in the text and that this can be plucked out like currents from a bun. Critics assert that such an approach is too objectivist and clunky to capture the subtleties of narrative and meaning. It also neglects important questions about the role of power in the construction of text and symbol system. Finally, they point to the active work of readers and the need to understand the ambiguities of text, both printed and social. Victor Turner and social drama. Victor Turner's work is an important point of reference for those who wish to indicate the narrative or fictive dimensions of social process in the real world. Turner saw social life as a kind of performance characterized by imagination, play, and creativity. Hermeneutics. They are strong. They are strong um, between the Hermetic tradition in social science and those advocating the centrality of narrative. Hermeneutics is an area is concerned with issues of meaning and mutual understanding. Traditionally, it has tended to be subjective, humanistic, individualistic, aesthetic, philosophical, and phenomenological in orientation. And conclusion. mm, from this chapter, we can know and learn about that culture as a text means that culture has a concrete, can be read, articulated, and interpreted meaning. And we can also see the culture shift of over time. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Thank you for you all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.